Howdy, welcome to MyG Online Tips and Tutorials, hosted by me, Zach Herbst, founder of MyG Online. Let's get going. MyGA Online uses your game day depth charts to set your rosters, your 2 deep, and all of those things. Those are fixed. They have rules. Kids can only be on one team. The way you get around this is something else that can be greatly beneficial are practice depth charts. We understand that you can't practice the same way that you play on Thursday and Friday nights. So let me give you an example. So let's say you're the defensive safeties coach, and your defense, you have your 1 defense, and then they get breaks when your 2s go in during practice. Well, I only have 1 free safety, and that's Thompson. So my number 2 free safety is Young, who's on the junior varsity. So for practice purposes, he actually plays up, but on Thursday nights, he plays with the sub-varsity team so he can get reps and he can become better. So the way you set this up and the way you show it with your kids is by using practice depth charts. Practice depth charts don't follow the same rules. You can have kids on multiple different practice depth charts. You can set them up with different schemes. And we're going to set one up right now for your defense. So we're going to, right here on every depth chart page, there's a blue button that says new depth chart. So I'm going to click that blue button. And the caret, it's going to have offense, defense, and all my special teams. Now these come preloaded based on what you've already set up. They also, you can start fresh from scratch with a new depth chart. If you want to put 4 or 5 kids on them, we'll have another video for tips and tricks of how you can use practice depth charts as well. So let's go new depth chart defense. And we're going to name it. We're going to name it our practice depth chart. And since we changed based on what MyGA first loaded, we just got to make sure we change our positions to our corners. Make our safeties. And our linebackers are there. We need to change our rover. We have our DNs, and we click save. So this is going to create a practice depth chart. So when you create a practice depth chart, you're going to notice that right here where it says game day / practice, I just want to see my practice depth chart. So I click practice only. And I can start building my practice depth chart. And like that, we have a practice depth chart. Now, all I did was I pulled up the game day and practice, and I picked up each team, and I just grabbed each kid, and I just put them quickly on the depth chart. Now, if you build a practice depth chart and you want to put them on a team, you can do the same thing. You can pull up your junior varsity and drag from here and put them up there. It's whatever works the best for your program. So as I was saying, I just want to look at my practice depth chart. So I'm going to choose defense. I'm going to choose practice day only. And now I'm going to set my practice up. So my kids understand that the first line is 1s, the second line is 2, and then we have the JVs, the sophomore, and then the freshman team. So Young is going to be my 2 for my practice purposes, and I'm going to move Reed up. And then you can manipulate this whatever you want. Bar is really, really good. You want to make sure he's getting reps as a 2. Well, I can just move him up. And there he is. He's going to be with the 2s. I can move Smith down with the JV so he can get some better reps, and then he's going down. But then on game night, they're going to flip back and forth. So the way I check for this is that I turn on my game day and practice, and I can go and look, okay, well, I got Barr on the JV. Do I want him to stay on the JV? Do I want to move him to varsity? You can either drag from the practice depth chart and move him, the game day depth chart. But if I drag him, try to put him here, it's going to ask me, do I want to change it if I have that turned on? This is why I really suggest having this turned on, especially when you're new to MyGA Online. So practice depth charts can be used for a multitude of ways. There's actually a description. In the description, there's a link to another video that has a bunch of more ideas of how you can use practice depth charts. Hey, Coach. For more information, check out our YouTube channel or follow us on social media. Remember, here at MyGA Online, we want to spend less time working and more time coaching.